7. Barrett outside, the switch. Doncic goes, oh, what a great step! And then he hammers it home! Broke his ankles!
Yo, what's going on, Knicks fans? Welcome back to a brand new video. I hope all is well. Thank you guys so much for tuning into this video. I really do appreciate it. And today, I'm bringing you guys the game preview for the New York Knicks' very first game when it comes to the 2022-23 NBA season. And we're going to be taking on the Memphis Grizzlies in a couple days on Wednesday night, and we're on the road. And this is going to be an exciting game. Obviously, number 2 overall pick up against number 3 overall pick. That's definitely going to be one of the top storylines. We know Ja Morant is an electrifying, amazing player that you could say is in that superstar tier or damn near that superstar tier, one of the best players in the game. They have tons of talent, but I'm very excited, obviously, for our team of the New York Knicks. And I'm going to be talking about some things maybe the New York Knicks need to key in on if they do want to end up being successful in this basketball game. So good news for the New York Knicks when it comes to injuries. We don't have any at all. Obviously, Quentin Grimes is fully out of that walking boot because he played in that preseason game. He was practicing before, and Quentin Grimes will go on to play in this game versus the Memphis Grizzlies on Wednesday. And there was that scare with Obi Toppin when it came to his ankle injury when he went on to step on a fan's foot, I believe, or he accidentally tripped over a fan on the sideline after resulting in a bucket or something like that when it came to the preseason game or a latest preseason game. There was tons of scares there. Tom Thibodeau did come out and say that most likely he is going to be playing on Wednesday or that he will be playing on Wednesday. So I'm counting on Obi to play in that game. I'm interested to see if there's going to be some type of minute restriction, but hopefully his ankle is all good. So when you take a look at the Memphis Grizzlies injuries, you have Jaren Jackson Jr. He's going to be out a decent portion of the beginning of the season, still recovering from that surgery when it comes to his foot. You have Danny Green that's going to be out until like April because remember he tore his ACL with the Philadelphia 76ers last season. And then Zaire Williams is a game time decision, and I think that's a important game time decision when it comes to taking on the New York Knicks because he's a solid depth piece and maybe he develops and takes a huge step when it comes to his second year. He was a pretty high pick. He was a lottery pick selected by the Memphis Grizzlies. He was very highly thought of coming out of high school and kind of struggled when it came to college. So on the road, this is going to be a totally different atmosphere. I kind of wish we were at home. This is a nationally televised game. I might stream it, maybe not. It's just better for me to break down the games when I'm just watching it by myself, but maybe I'll go on to stream it. So when you take a look at the starting line of matchups, now that no Jaren Jackson Jr., which is a huge loss for the Memphis Grizzlies when it comes to the beginning of the season, and he's more of a potential shooter because he shoots it from the outside, but this past season he did not shoot it that well. Maybe it was some rust coming off of the injury from the year prior when it came to that meniscus injury. So he's someone that's capable of shooting from the outside, but they're missing a huge versatile threat when it comes to defensively. I think that's the most important thing. So in his spot, it's actually going to be Santi Aldama. And I think this is going to be a huge matchup for Julius Randle. You may look at Aldama and be like, his stats aren't that good, but it's because Jaren Jackson Jr. obviously gets the majority of minutes. And Aldama, he's kind of had a shortened NBA career. He's still on the rise, continuing to get better. He is someone that's 6'11" when it comes to power forward position, so he does have a mismatch, or it's a mismatch for Julius Randle or Aldama. Yes, Aldama may be taller, but Julius Randle's a lot stronger. So this is the type of game from Randle. I'm not asking him to put up 20 points or anything like that, 25 points, but I want him to consistently move the ball around and not settle. I need him to be extremely patient on the offense side of the basketball, realize that he has a point guard, which you're starting to see that realization throughout the preseason, some more maturity. He still has those poor moments that he takes fall-away jumpers or settles for shots, but this is someone that you're just going to have to attack. Yes, Aldama has some length. He's a solid defender, and he's also a solid passer as well. He's a decent basketball IQ. Like, he's still inconsistent from the outside when it comes to his numbers, but due to a small sample size, like, it makes it look like he's a bad shooter, but he has shown that he's capable of knocking it down. But Randle's stronger. I would like to put him, see him in the post, call for the ball on the block, or when he faces up, go to the post. And if maybe the paint is clogged or something like that, make the right read, know someone's open, or maybe only take the fadeaway in a situation that maybe he kind of has no choice, but obviously you want to get the best shot possible. But Randle's going to have to look out for guys cutting when Aldama has the ball, just play your heart out. We want to see the full effort Julius Randle on defense. We don't want to see him settle for jumpers. Just really go at him. And another matchup we really need to talk about, obviously, is John Morant, because John Morant's going to catch the defense on their heels, no doubt about it. If it's in transition, if it's in the half-court setting, he's one of the most talented players in basketball. He's one of the most gifted passers in the game. He's some of the best hesitations, change of direction, in and outs, working down the lane. His Achilles heel is obviously shooting the basketball, and when you really take a look at it here, it's like Jalen Brunson, 6'1". John Morant's not that much taller than him, but Jalen Brunson's not known as this crazy defender. He's going to try. He's pretty solid in one-on-one matchups, but I'm not comfortable with Jalen Brunson defending John Morant the entire game, so I would like to see RJ Barrett take on that assignment. Not fully, though, because you need to have one of your best scorers be rested when it comes to the offense side of the basketball as well. But I would like to see some switches at times to take the load off of Brunson defensively. Just bring someone with more length, that has that physicality to really match up against a John Morant. So it's a little harder for him to get to the basket. RJ had some struggles defensively in the preseason, but I do think he's going to go even more 100% when it comes to that regular season, and he's shown the capability of not being afraid to defend the best players. He's strong. He's a solid wingspan. He's 6'6". He has the height mismatch. He has the height mismatch on a John Morant. I'm not expecting him to lock him up, but maybe sometimes force him to shoot it outside on the perimeter. We know he has that awkward-looking set shot. Sometimes it's on, sometimes it's way off. And for Jalen Brunson, I want Jalen Brunson to attack this game, really attack. And John Morant's his ability to read the passing lanes, throw it ahead in transition, dunk, awesome. But and he also has a long wingspan as well. He could pickpocket guys. But Jalen Brunson, you look at him, yes, he's only 6'1". He may be even shorter. He's listed as 6'1". He is much stronger than a John Morant. And I want Jalen Brunson to dribble, penetrate, get to that floater. I want to see him use hesitations. I want him to be extremely crafty in this basketball game. I want to see him use that unorthodox style play that we saw in Dallas. We sometimes see in the preseason that he even goes to the post at times. And we already see the light and day of the unpredictability that he brings to this offense. So I think it's going to be huge for Brunson to be aggressive, work down the lane, draw fouls, get John Morant into foul trouble. So that's going to be an interesting matchup. And Jalen Brunson, I do think he has the capability of having a huge game when it comes to his first official game with the New York Knicks. And when you take a look at Desmond Bane for the Memphis Grizzlies, who would you have defending a Desmond Bane? I talked about the switchability. You want RJ to defend Ja at times. Fournier, are you okay with Fournier defending a Desmond Bane? Or would you rather have him defend a Dillon Brooks? Maybe because Jalen Brunson's going to be defending Ja at some point. You could talk about trying to hide him defensively, but there's going to be moments that he's going to have to defend him if it switches, or the Grizzlies even try to switch him back onto him due to screen and roll setting screens and all that. So I want the least explosive player for Evan Fournier to defend. And I'm not saying that Desmond Bane is just a bad athlete or anything like that. We know Desmond Bane could shoot the heck out of the basketball outside on the perimeter. He's good at moving without the ball. He's a good defensive player, so I think this is going to be a tough matchup for Evan Fournier. But he's someone he's capable of shooting off the dribble, or he's capable of working down the lane, but it's not at a John Morant level. So I do want that type of assignment for Evan Fournier, because Evan Fournier is a good team defender, just one-on-one, not the best. So I do think Evan Fournier is capable of being decent closing outside on the perimeter. I'm not saying he's a fantastic defender, but I would like that matchup for him. But just Desmond Bane's also really physical. He's extreme. Have you seen him? He's built like a safety. That's how strong Desmond Bane is. So this overall team needs to be beast on the glass. Evan Fournier, he's going to have to be physical in this game. And there's going to be times as well, Evan Fournier can't shoot those stupid shots off the dribble that we saw in preseason and sometimes saw in the regular season. It's awesome when he's on, hitting those side steps, step backs, but he might have to get to that floater kind of consistently as well. So when you have a Desmond Bane that can shoot the heck out of the basketball, defend, I think it's going to be a tough matchup for this New York Knicks club. But Evan Fournier, he's going to have to be smart in this game and not settle. You take a look at a Dillon Brooks. Dillon Brooks, fantastic defender. And I think when it comes to the defensive matchup for the New York Knicks, obviously on paper, when you match up the starting lineups, you'll have an RJ defend a Dillon Brooks. We'll see who's going to be defending who. And again, with switches, you never know with how fast of a pace the game is and all that. Like if the Grizzlies get out in transition, you have Jaw that loves to run. There's going to be certain matchups maybe you don't expect at times, but Dillon Brooks is not a great three-point shooter. He lacks touch as well. Sometimes when he gets to the basket, he only shot like 31% from three, but he still averaged 18 points per game, so he still finds ways to use his athleticism, work down the lane, use his physicality, and get to the free throw line as well. So you have someone that has strength and could score points as well. Like Desmond Bane even averaged 18 points. John Moran averaged over 20 points per game. So you have guys that can consistently score in this lineup, but Dillon Brooks is going to be a tough assignment for an RJ Barrett because it's smart that the Grizzlies have this versatility of defense. Desmond Bane, like, let's say there's a switch. Like, yes, you have a guy of Desmond Bane that can play defense, or you have Dillon Brooks that can play defense, but there's switch. Desmond Bane's still a capable defender on an RJ Barrett. So RJ Barrett's going to have to bring some unpredictability when it comes to going to the basket, or he's going to have to continue to be strong going to the basket. Yes, he always has that motor on, but he's definitely going to have to bring his A game. And I'm not asking him to shoot like step back threes or anything like that, but I'd like to see like a nice hesitation or there and there, and just see him have very nice body control in this game. He's gonna have to lock in on both ends of the floor. He's gonna have to make those heads up plays of, you don't always have to shoot it when you go to the basket, kick it outside the perimeter after you get the defense to collapse, that type of thing. It's gonna have to be an overall team effort, because even when you look at the center position, Mitchell Robinson, Mitchell Robinson, I think he could be he has potential, obviously, to be a beast for the Knicks for a long time. But Steven Adams, who I was going to get into, Steven Adams is going to be a tough matchup for Mitchell Robinson. We saw Mitchell Robinson just destroy Daniel Gafford. But the big thing with Mitchell Robinson is when he's had these big games throughout his career, sometimes it's like not up against the best of center competition or just like physicality-wise type of thing. Like when he went off against the Jazz that one game, when he had 20 points, 20 rebounds, something ridiculous like that, it wasn't Gobert playing. It was like, was it Azukabuki, something like that, during the time when it came to the center position. Someone that was a rookie during that time, and yes, he's physical, but he's undisciplined, and he's still raw when it comes to the overall NBA game, the speed and physicality. But you have a guy here, Steven Adams, who's a hard-ass screen setter. He's someone that rolls the basket very well. He's a solid athlete. He's strong as shit. So he's not going to fall for much. He's a pretty disciplined guy. And on the boards, I'm kind of afraid like how Mitchell Robinson is going to be when it comes to defensive rebounds. I don't want to give up boards like crazy in this game. And Mitchell Robinson, he's going to have to just not always rely on his verticality and his athleticism. He's gone better boxing out, but he's going to have to be physical in this game. This is a physical, hard-nosed basketball team that is coached very well by a Taylor Jenkins. So everyone's going to have to bring their ball game in this. When Mitch Robinson rolls to the basket, he's going to have to roll strong as shit. Jalen Brunson's going to have to make heads-up plays. And I think Jalen Brunson, like, we're going to need some cutting throughout this game to throw the Grizzlies off and make them fatigued, because I'll say this, like, Tom Thibodeau gets his critiques from me and overall Knicks fans, but he always has the New York Knicks conditioned. He always has them in game shape, which I really do respect about this basketball club. But we're going to have to be disciplined. We can't take stupid shots. We're going to have to be it together, tight-knit group. And when you take a look at the Memphis Grizzlies' depth as well, they have solid depth. Tyus Jones, yes, he's not someone that's going to probably come off the bench, put up 20, but he's just very solid at running the offense. You know, he's stable at that. He's kind of your traditional guard that utilizes screens right. He knows when to shoot it. He knows when to pass. He makes nice reads out there on the basketball floor. I do love that we have Derrick Rose back and healthy, because I think that's going to help out our second unit so much, because quickly he's capable of being a decent playmaker. But that's the key thing. He's capable. He's not always a decent playmaker. Sometimes he just doesn't read the floor well at all. Someone's open outside on the perimeter, he doesn't notice it. Someone's cutting, doesn't notice it. You know, sometimes he takes shots way too early in the shot clock, over dribbling. But you have Derrick Rose, who's a veteran that I think has the ability to attack and go at Tyus Jones and get buckets. I think Derrick Rose is going to be huge in this game due to his physicality, due to his experience, due to his ability to get to the mid-range. You know, he's an improved three-point shooter throughout his NBA career. He's still got the reverse layups. He's still one of the best finishers in the league when it comes to physicality at the rim, and maybe even potentially getting to the free throw line. But then you look at the two matchup here, like, we'll see if Zaire Williams goes on to play for the Memphis Grizzlies. I'm very interested to see if that's going to happen, like if Zaire Williams goes on to play. But you have John Concar at the 2 position for the Memphis Grizzlies when it comes to their depth. And another guy, you may look at his stats, he's not really anything special, but when he's gotten an opportunity, he's been pretty decent for them, and he shoots it at a pretty decent clip from downtown. Yes, he only attempted like 1.8 threes per game last year, but he's still capable of shooting nearly 40% from beyond the arc. So Quickly's going to have to be disciplined. He can't leave the perimeter wide open, and this is a guy with pretty solid length, and he's taller than a Quickly as well. So I'm interested to see how that matchup's going to be defensively, but Quickly, he's going to have to just be poised. He's going to have to utilize screens and realize he doesn't always have to, even when Rose is out of the game. When screens are set, he has to realize the screens aren't just for him to score as well. And he thrives with OB though, so no doubt about it. When there's OB cutting, he'll be able to find OB, but there's just moments he comes off screen, kind of takes that leaner three, if you know what I'm talking about, that he's like pushing forward. It's kind of awkward at times, and sometimes he only uses it to shoot the basketball. That's not any hate towards Quickly. I love his confidence, but Quickly's capable of hitting those big-time threes, those momentum-changing threes, and he's a mentally tough player as well, though. We could talk about his basketball IQ, but when the moments are down or when the Knicks are down, sometimes he hits some big-time shots for us. We'll see if he gets that floater, and I just hope Quickly maybe hit some big-time shots for the New York Knicks in this game. Obviously, not everything's going to be perfect, but I think he's going to be a huge piece when it comes to the success. So, at the 3, it's either going to be Zaire Williams, but he's a game-time decision, or it's going to be David Roddy. So David Roddy's a pretty solid athlete when it comes to the 3 position. He's a rookie, came out of a smaller college, but he's a mentally tough player. So it's kind of an unpredictability what this rookie David Roddy's going to do for the Memphis Grizzlies in this upcoming game. But Quentin Grimes, I do like this matchup for him. Yes, Roddy's a pretty big dude, but Quentin Grimes is a lightning, quick release outside on the perimeter. He's capable of defending. He's a hard-nosed, bulldog type of player, but there might be some rust with Quentin Grimes' shot. You know, being in that walking boot, yes, he's putting up shots in practice, but he only played 1 preseason game, and he was kind of in limited action. You know, he made a nice pass, but outside of that, he put too much on one. It went out of bounds. He didn't score any points, but there may be some rust when it comes to Quentin Grimes, but we know he's going to continue to shoot the basketball. He's not afraid to continue to shoot that thing. And then when you take a look at the 4 position here, obviously you have Obi Toppin, and then he's going to be taking on Brandon Clark. Brandon Clark is someone I really liked coming out of Gonzaga, and he's not the best player in the world. Defensively, he has length. He's someone that has a mid-range shot. He has a nice little push floater, but I think Obi Toppin's going to make Brandon Clark work. And I love this matchup for Obi Toppin because we know Obi Toppin's constantly moving no matter what personnel. And Obi Toppin's cutting back door, him constantly just like running down the floor, leaking out. I do think it's going to cause trouble for Brandon Clark, especially when you have a Derrick Rose distributing him the ball, and Derrick Rose is always making those heads-up plays. I just hope Obi Toppin doesn't settle for a lot of threes because I still don't think Obi Toppin's 3 is where it should be at. I do think it is inconsistent, but maybe he does knock down some threes in this game, but defensively, how is he going to be up against an assignment of Brandon Clark? How is his lateral quickness going to be? I do think he's improved on that side of the ball, but we'll see in this game. And then at the 5 position, they do have Xavier Tillman as that backup 5. And these are just like, I'm running down the depth charts, but maybe the way the game goes, it's very close, and Taylor Jenkins is like we rotate, or they may have substitutions that like one guy checks out and one of their starters or one of their bench players that maybe they don't check in like their backup 5 or a certain assignment or something, and they move the 4 over to the 5 or something like that. Like, you never know in those those close types of games. I do think it's going to be a close physical game, but you have Isaiah Hartenstein versus a guy of Xavier Tillman that are total opposite players. Like, Xavier Tillman's a big dude that could dunk in the dunker spot, sets hard screens, a decent rim protector, but he's very limited offensively. And the thing that scares me with Isaiah Hartenstein lately in the preseason or even with the Clippers, yes, he has the capability of shooting the 3 ball. He didn't shoot it a lot with the Clippers. When he did, it was in non-pressure situations when it really wasn't a game. He shot him in the preseason, and I wonder if there's going to be some pick and pop. I wonder if they're going to run those plays, or maybe the Knicks are like, I don't know if Isaiah Hartenstein's to the point that he's that consistent as a 3-point shooter that we're comfortable with running that play, and then maybe it's going to make him trigger happy. But the problem with Isaiah Hartenstein when he goes up against actually any type of personnel is that he gets into foul trouble, and hopefully he's just smarter, and hopefully he's more disciplined, and he learned from the preseason. But maybe with the constant movement of Obi Toppin and Isaiah Hartenstein's passing, he'll be able to find Obi Toppin cutting or something like that. But he has the capability of being a decent rim protector, or he was a solid rim protector last season, or actually a good one, but it comes down to staying on the floor and being disciplined. But this is going to be a tough game for the New York Knicks. I definitely think it's going to come down to the wire, or just going to have to hit big shots or even make key passes. Everyone's going to have to just play as a team, be smart. Don't take shots when you don't have to take them. Don't settle. Attack this Memphis Grizzlies team, and hopefully the New York Knicks come out victorious. Let me know down below your thoughts on this game. Peace out, y'all.